Hello, my name's Duncan and welcome to Back Away from Donkey About Books. So this is a bit of my favourite books I read this year, and also a bit of an update of what I'm sort of vaguely planning for next year. If you watch me, you'll know that my plans are always a bit up in the air. But let's start with favourite books I've read this year. Quantity-wise, I've not read huge amounts. I've probably read about half the amount I normally would, just because it's been a busy year and stress, and I've got out of reading, but still read some really, really good books. And I'm going to pick three that stuck out to me as the best ones I've probably read this year. And the first one is I finally got round to reading Jordan's The Eye of the World, the first book of the Wheel of Time. And I spent 30 years avoiding these books, and I finally read the first one, and I loved it. I've got a video up about my reading the first 100 pages, and I'm more about it later, but I need to finish off some follow-ups on that. But I really, really did like it. I love his prose, which I think is quite underrated, and it's very original. It's a lot different than I expected. So yeah, The Eye of the World by Jordan is just, yeah, it deserves the plaudits it gets, which surprised me in a weird way. So, second of my favourite reads of the year is, I think, Harry Turtledove, 3 Miles Down. Which, Harry Turtledove, I've got a bit of he's like the king of alternate timelines. And this one is set in the 1970s, and it's basically an first contact novel. And it's about this guy who's a science fiction writer and does some other bits, and he's basically contacted by the US military to go onto a boat and basically to retrieve what they see as a alien spaceship. And it's the story that rolls on that, and you've got in the background, you've got all the Nixon stuff from the 70s, and it's just a really, really enjoyable book. Turtledove was always a good writer. I sort of strayed away from reading a lot of his stuff quite a few years ago because I felt it was all not samey, but I was just sort of getting a bit fed up with the alternate reality stuff. But this was a really, really good book and a really, really fun read, and probably one of the best of the newer books I've read for quite a long time. So yeah, Harry Turtledove, 3 Miles Down. And the third of my picks for my favourite reads of the year is going to be, unsurprisingly, if you watch my stuff or talk to me, is The Arcady Brothers and its Roadside Picnic, which I absolutely loved. And it's quite a grim story. It feels very bleak, obviously, and it's basically about these guys who explore this zone, and this zone is where some alien artifacts are, and they go in there and they can only stay in there for so long. It's very hard to describe until you read it. I'd like to do a big, probably video just on it and its influences, because until I read it, I didn't realise how many things have taken influences. Films like Hardware, if you know the film Hardware, and then you go back to Jeff Vandermeer's Annihilation. Don't particularly big fan of that, but that obviously takes big leaps from it. But Roadside Picnic, The Arcady Brothers, I said I think next year, consider doing a bigger video on it, because I may reread it next year because I liked it to that much. I want to reread it quite soon. So yeah, that's my 3 picks of my favourite sort of vague reads of this past year, and I've got a list here of stuff I'm going to speak about. Obviously, through December, I'm not really posted much up. I've just been incredibly busy. One of my dogs has got quite ill and needs to go for surgery, and that's all taken a lot of time up. And I've just a mixture between running out of time and then when I had time, just the sort of inclination because of all the stuff going on. But it's nice to be back recording some videos. I'll give you my highlights of the year of sort of recording wise is, I've really enjoyed doing the podcast with Alan. I've just done a talk with Gavin, which I absolutely love doing, about the book A for Andromeda, which may or may not be out before this video. I'm not sure whether it will. and I enjoyed doing the Giant April, which was Roy's event. But I've just had lots of little bits that I've really, really enjoyed. I think I might do a video before the end of the new year, just on linking to some of the videos that I've done and other people's videos of what I really enjoyed on Booktube for this year. So I may, yes, I think I will, and I'll do that video and get it out between sort of Christmas and New Year. That's a decision I've just made on the fly. But this plans for next year. My reading plans are always a bit up in the air because I'm very much I decide at the time what I'm going to read. But I've got a few sort of vague ideas. I've just got a bit of a list in front of me which I need to find. My tablet will show it to me. Where is it? Yeah, so sort of January-ish, I'm probably going to be finishing up some stuff from last year, including the Wheel of Time thing that I mentioned earlier. I really, really need to finish that up. And there's a few little bits of sort of loose ends of my videos that I really want to tie up. February, there's a reading event going on that I am involved in. I'm not going to tell you what it is now because it's not my place to do that. But just keep an eye out for that. But I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be reading some bits that going at the sort of stuff I normally read, but then going at weird little angles of it. So that is really, really going to be fun. I want to this year also do some more magazine stuff. If you know, I mentioned before, I've got loads of like Omni magazines, Starlog magazines, Fantastic Films magazines. I've got lots of science fiction, random stuff. Fear, a magazine that was short-lived, but it was very good. I've got loads of copies of those, and there's also various copies over on the Internet Archive that you can actually see some of these, and I think it could be fun to do some videos on those. As I said, these plans are not sort of set in stone, they're just sort of ideas floating around because my ideas change, and also it may change. I don't like putting really, really set permanent, I'm going to do this, because frequently I fail because of life, and also I sometimes get interested in other things and go off on tangents. But one of the things I want to do with my reading is I've got lots of books not that I avoid, that I have or I've purchased with every intent of reading them, and they get looked over from other ones. So I think my plan is every third book I'm going to pick a book from this sort of list of books I really wanted to get round to. I may do something in a video about that and showing a list of books, which I think could be a fun idea to do, or I may not. Yeah, if you're watching this, put a comment down. Would you like me to do that? I could always do a randomizer to get it randomly to pick a book, and we could see where we go from there. Now, as I said, this is very off the cuff. The other things I was planning to do, I want to do some more writing on my blog. I've got a blog that I've had for years, and this almost relates to another point I was going to make. I can be a bit of a perfectionist, and my blog I enjoy writing on. My wife is very good at sort of the web design and the design of it, and I'm simplifying the blog to hopefully make it easier for me to put stuff up, because I want to relate some stuff to some of my Booktube output, and also just some general writing about other things that don't sort of cover in Booktube. So that's my hope, to get more stuff on there and put more links in my videos to stuff like that some people might be interested to read. But as with Booktube, my writing and things like that, this is all done for fun, and the fact that anybody reads it is great, and if you don't, I'll still do it anyway. So there's no escaping it. But yeah, that's one of the vague ideas I've got. Not vague ideas, that's one idea to go. And I'm hoping in the next sort of week that my blogs, you can visit it now because the link's below, and you'll see some work going on there, so it may change over the next week and stuff, but new stuff is going to be going up there over the next few weeks, and then I will hopefully be putting something up there at least once or twice a week. Because one of my things for simplifying it is my original layout for this blog. It looked really good. I think it looked really good, but everything was so complicated. It wasn't just a case of writing something and putting it up there. It was writing something I'd have to format it and make it look pretty. So this new layout will hopefully enable me just to put the writing up with a bit of a picture, and that's it. So I get more things there. Does that make any sense? I think I've said it in a lot of my videos. Does that make any sense? And let's have a quick look at my list, my blog. Also, I'm hoping just to keep everything a bit obscure at points. I know I go down some rabbit holes. Um, I mentioned earlier about the buddy read I did with Gavian for the A for Andromeda video, and I'd quite be happy really to do some more of those. Could be fun with different booktubers or the same booktubers, because reading a book and then talking about it, I really, really enjoy it. It's part of why I'm here, part of why everybody's here. And as always, I'm open to change these plans. The other thing is I quite enjoy playing around with video and stuff. And a couple of years ago, I wanted to do a section of stuff of Philip K. Dick on film, which is all of Philip K. Dick's books that have been adapted to film, and do some comparison stuff. And I've sort of been working on and off on that because it didn't happen the year I wanted it to. So this year, what I'm hoping to do is do sort of one or two longer form videos. And I think I'm going to start by doing the first one on the Philip K. Dick on film series that I was going to do one year. I think I set myself, as a young booktuber, I set myself too ambitious as a goal. There was no way I was going to get a book out, a video like that out of a month, especially being the sort of perfectionist I am. So I'm hoping in the first half of this year, first 6 months, to get the one done on Do Android's Blade Runner comparison. And that's going to be a sort of longer form video. And then I'm hoping in the second half of the year to do another longer form one. And when I mean longer form, I mean slightly more produced rather than me speaking in front of the camera. As much as I love just doing off-the-cuff speaking ones, just it's fun because it's been fun reading around it, all the stuff, but also just putting something together. So yeah, those are my vague plans of the year. Nothing is guaranteed. If there's anything about that I've said that sort of rings a bell and you think, oh, I'd like to do something like that or hear something about that, just drop me a line, because my emails, I've got an email down there, or just leave a comment. And yeah, it's just me rambling now. So yeah, I will speak to you all very soon. I've got, so over Christmas period, I've got a couple more coming up before sort of Christmas, and it's only going to be one or two between Christmas and New Year, because not many people see stuff. But well, if you get bored, you can always come, and then we will see you in the new year after Hogmanay. So yeah, have a good Christmas if I don't see you all beforehand, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye bye.